Hello everyone, my name is Anushka and today I'll be going over the basics of creative writing with you. We'll cover what is creative writing, how to use creative writing, what is the importance of it, and how is it used in our daily life and the applications of creative writing. The most important question that comes is what is creative writing? To simply put it, it's the art of making things up. It's how you formulate and express your thoughts and expressions. It's putting your imagination onto a piece of paper. And there are a lot of ways in which you can do that. You can write novels, it's epics, short stories, poems. It can even be songs. There are a lot of ways to express your thoughts. Creative writing helps you develop your voice and find out the ways in which you can write your expression, in which you can express yourself. So here I have two pictures. On the left hand side, there's an article, and it's called Kashmir is now Union Territory. And the article goes on to explain how this came into being and why this happened and what the government did about it. And basically, uh, it's stating what happened. It's reporting facts. It's not made up. It's based on real events, and it's reporting as it is. It's not changing anything. It cannot change anything because these are facts. However, on the other side, we have a story called Chocolate's Adventure. Now, this is about some animal named Chocolate and how he came into the forest and he was lonely, he was bullied, and then he made friends, he became a hero, and it basically describes the journey of Chocolate. And here, what we see is these are not facts; these are just thoughts expressed by the writer. It's pure imagination, and here, things are not being reported, facts are not being stated. It's using your mind to make up an entire world where chocolate is an animal that can talk, right? So this is what creative writing is. It's going beyond just facts and using your mind, opening your mind to imagination and new worlds. Now, it doesn't necessarily always have to be pure imagination. It can also be something like, for example, let's take the War of 1857. Now, everyone knows India lost, and the British won that fight. Now, what you can do in your story is maybe India did win that time. So, if India had won in 1857, then what would have happened? We would have gotten our independence almost a century ago, and we would be so advanced right now, maybe even more advanced than US. And there would be a lot of differences today, right? So creative writing is also something like this. You can take facts and you can put your own version and you can make your own version of it. So, and this is completely all right because this is not history. You're not reading a CBSE textbook or anything. You are making your own story up. So you can take facts and then put your own spin to it. That's, I think that's cool. So why is creative writing important? The first and the foremost and the most important point is imagination and creativity. Now, I've already said a lot about this point, but I cannot stress enough on how important this is. Creative writing is one of the best mediums to expand your mind and to think out of the box. It helps you think outside those CBSE textbooks and just your regular life. And this is one thing which is not just important in writing, it's important in every aspect of your life. Now, let's take one example of, let's take airplanes. Now, at one point of time, airplanes were not considered anything, that's feasible. People used to think that anyone who man couldn't fly, and anyone who thought that was mad. But still, it was one person's imagination that man could fly, that we can now. If someone hadn't imagined it, you would still be just going by road or a sea. We would never have planes. So, not just inventions. Uh, it's for example, environmental change now. So there's pollution, there's climate change, there's so many things, and our most important tool to fight this is innovation. We need to come up with new ways, with new thinking to deal with this problem. So this is a point. Imagination and creativity are two things that you need every day, and it's what lifts you to another level. Okay, so I'm moving on to the next point. We have that creative writing helps in self-expression. See, when you write something, you put a lot of thought into it. You think before writing, right? So you think about it, then you formulate those words, then you plan how to write it, and then finally you write it. So this process helps you decide what you are thinking, because sometimes what happens is you don't yourself know exactly what you are thinking about. So with writing about it, you gain clarity and you know exactly what you want to talk about. So what happens here is, once you know what you're talking about, once you gain that clarity, you can express yourself so much better. And then the next point is, it improves your communication skills. Now this is tied to self-expression, because once you gain clarity and once you know how to express yourself, in the same process you also learn how to identify what the others are trying to communicate to you. So and communication is a two-way street. So once you gain clarity on what you are speaking, and once you start understanding what the others are trying to speak, your communication skills obviously improve, and you obviously you are able to understand the person much better. The next point is, it helps in bringing self-confidence. Now see, all these points are kind of tied to one another. So our communication skills are tied to our self-expression, and our self-confidence is again tied up to how well we communicate and how well we are able to express ourselves. Because once we gain clarity and once we are able to express ourselves, we start believing in what we say. And this believing in yourself is basically what self-confidence is. Once you start believing in yourself, you gain confidence in yourself, and you are able to communicate better. So all these points are tied up, and creative writing is a way that helps you enhance these values in yourself, and it helps. And the last point is, it's useful in daily life. Now, instead of just theoretically telling you why is it important, I'll use another example to explain it to you. Okay, so we have two groups here. What's happening is, we are selling a few items, and then we are comparing um, how the items are sold, the same items, how they are sold. In the first group, and the first thing we are selling is a hotel room. So in group A, the item that is the hotel room is being sold for $126. Now, what we did here was, we put some information about the hotel room, we put the cost, we put the facilities available, and then the customers bought it. However, when the same item is put in group B, what we are doing is, we are attaching a personal story to that hotel room. And this personal story, when the customer reads it, he gets a more enhanced and a more better and kind of a better view of that hotel room, and the same hotel room was sold for $133. The same room. The only difference here was the personal story. Moving on to the second item, we have a painting. Again, in group B, the painting is sold with the basic information: who is the painter, what is the painting, just the basic information. And then in the second group, it is sold with the painter's personal story. They attach the meaning of the painting and the difficulties the painter went through, and again, it's being sold for a higher price. Customers react better to personal stories rather than just facts. And not just customers, every human being is um, every human being is a social being, right? So once you tell them stories, they will always react better. So one more item we have. Let's see one more item. This is a wine. So in group A, the wine is being sold with the basic flavor tones and the price. And however, in the second group, group B, what we are doing is we are attaching the winemaker story. And again, there's a huge surge in sales. There's a huge surge, right? So why is this happening? Why are customers reacting better? Because you attach stories. It's the power of storytelling. Once you learn how to tell stories, you know how to sell your product. That's what marketing is based upon. Okay, so here I have taken another example. This is of a tourist who's visiting Iceland, and she's on her way back home. She's at the airport, and she suddenly remembers that she has to buy gifts for her family and friends. Now the thing is, she doesn't have a lot of money left because the trip's finished and she's probably spent all of it. So she decides to herself that she'll keep this certain amount for buying gifts, and she would not exceed it because she doesn't have that much money left. And then she sees this gift shop at the airport and she decides to go and see. And she goes in, and there are a lot of things there, small things, cheap things. She looks at them, nothing interests her. And then there's this fridge magnet, and it looks very cheap. It doesn't look anything special. And there's this kind of um, a vague symbol on it that she doesn't understand. And she's about to leave and go when the saleswoman who works there comes to her, and the saleswoman explains that the symbol is a Viking symbol, and how the symbol is a representation of safety for the fishermen, and was a good luck charm in their history. And she goes on to spin a wonderful story about the symbol and history, and the customer, our tourist, gets fascinated by it. And even though she promised that she would to herself that she would not spend above this much money, she gets so fascinated by the story that she ends up buying five five of those fridge magnets. And even more, she when she goes back, she says that she will recommend the shop to her friends and family and to anyone visiting Iceland because of the saleswoman. See, I mean, that's storytelling. Okay, so the next thing we'll be covering is types of creative writing. Now, I cannot cover all types of creative writing, there are more than 30. So we'll go over the basics and the most important ones. Okay, the most obvious ones are novels, and short stories and poems. These three, I think everyone knows what they are. I don't need to explain what they are. I mean, we have learned in school, or if you're not learned in school, you must have read one at home, right? So I'll skip these and I'll move on to the next, which is songs, raps, and lyrics. Now, this is not exactly available in schools, and most people don't know that this is also a form of creative writing. But it is. It's basically, what is songs and raps? They are words, right? They're words put to a tone or to some music, right? But in the end, those are words. Those are you expressing your thoughts. And even though they're not available in school, there are a lot of online platforms where you can learn about them. And if you're interested, this is also a form of creative writing. Okay. Moving on, we have plays and scripts. Now, plays can be the plays you perform in school. It can be professional plays. It can be plays in your community. And the scripts are of two types: movie scripts and TV scripts. And these scripts are the basis on which movies and TV shows are made. Right. The next form of creative writing we have is speeches. Speeches, they have a both written and oral element, and the way you speak can make or break its success. And while the speaking part is more important, writing is also important, because if you do not have a good speech written, no matter how well you speak, the speech won't impact the people that much. Because if it's a good speech, if the speech is written good, then you have a far better impact on people. The next form is greeting cards. Now, again, this is not a usual form. This is not what many people know. But yes, this is also included in creative writing. And if you like to make something that's catchy and it's a one-liner, then greeting cards is the way to look. And if you like greeting cards, you can also go into the marketing business, because in the marketing business, a lot of times you have to make slogans and phrases, and it's kind of similar to greeting cards. Next, we have essay. Now, I'm sure everyone has written an essay here. It can be an academic essay, it can be an essay for an exam, or simply for research purposes. But one way or another, I'm sure you have all written essays. The last form I'll be introducing today is comic strips. Comic strip Comic strips are great for people who enjoy drawing and who enjoy writing. So it's a great combination of writing and drawing, and it can be hilarious, it can be dark, it can be sad. It's according to your choice. But if you're interested in drawing and writing, it's a great form to look at. So here are a few examples of the different types of creative writing. We have a poem, we have a comic strip, and we have a greeting card. Now these are all very differently written, right? They are not the conventional novels or books, but they also are creative writing because they are a type of expression. They are you expressing your thoughts. Okay, so moving on to the activity of the day. Now you've learned enough that you can perform this very easily. It should not be difficult for you, and it's not a lengthy task. So I'm sure you'll all be able to do it. Now what you have to do, you have to take an object or a person. You could also take an emotion like sadness or anger or happiness, your choice. Or you could take an animal, you could take a planet. The object you take could be animate, or it could be inanimate. It's your choice. And once you've taken the object, what I want you to do is I want you to write something about it. Now it could be a story, it could be a poem, it could be a rap, it could be a song, it could be an essay, it could be a script. It's completely your choice. The only condition I've put here is that it should not exceed 300 words. So try and stay within the word limit, which is 200 to 300 words. If you exceed it by 50 words, then that's okay. Or if you are short by 50 words, then that's also okay. But try and stay within the general limit, okay? And just in case you're stuck for topics and you can't seem to think of any at the moment, I have included three which I could think of. You can take them if you want. The first is a day in the life of a shoemaker. Now, it's your choice. You could write a short story about it, you could write a poem about it, or you could sing a song about it. And if you can do that, then that's very good, because I know I can't do that. Anyway, the second topic is the lion escaped from the zoo. So again, it's your choice. You could write about what happened once the lion escaped. Maybe he escaped into a museum and he broke a lot of artifacts, and then the police had to come. That it's your imagination. Okay. And the last topic I had was my best friend is a talking book. Now this could turn into something of a fantasy, like yeah, you could invent a world where books can talk and pigs can fly. It's your choice. And once you are done with the activity, you could all send it to me and I'll have a look at it. I'll tell you how you can improve and what are your strengths and how you can go on further if you want. So I'm always available to you. Okay. So I hope you had a wonderful time and I look forward to meeting you all again. Thank you.